Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ben with Eretabe Guidance in Georgia, Zone 7. I have a nice one for you today. Today's video is on harvesting and making of basil powder. I planted basil early in spring. And the reason why I planted the basil, the main reason why I planted the basil was because of the groundhog. But it didn't stop the groundhog from eating my sweet potato leaves. In fact, the groundhog will walk in between my sweet potato or in between the basil leaves or basil plants to eat my sweet potato leaves. So, when the basil didn't stop the groundhog from eating my sweet potato leaves, I said, okay, I will leave the basil to keep growing, and then I will make a basil powder from the basil plant. The Bible says all things work together for good to them that love God. So if plan A didn't work, plan B has worked. So I'm going to show you how I harvested and how I made basil powder. This is my basil plant. I grew it because of a groundhog problem. Groundhog. Because I made some research that says basil leaf will stop groundhog from eating your stuff, from eating your plants. Because I tried soap or something spring, which didn't work. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to try basil. But the basil didn't work because the groundhog came in so many times. Look at, ate the leaves so many times, walk in between. Look at, I have 1, 2, walk in between and eat, and walk in between here and eat all the leaves. So because of that, I'm not going to have sweet potato here. You see, because the groundhog kept eating the leaves, and every time the groundhog eats the leaves, it affects the sweet potato. Look at, I don't have no sweet potato because the basil didn't work. So my plan B is to harvest these basils and then dry them, blend them, and use it. Now they've started producing seeds, but I don't care about the seeds because it didn't achieve the main purpose of buying this basil plant, was to stop the groundhog. And since it didn't stop the groundhog and it has grown so big, so it's time to harvest the basil plant. So yeah, harvest it. Look at how big the plant is, that even the groundhog did not even respect the plant. As big as it is, Groundhog said, sorry, I don't respect you. Okay, so let's harvest this one also. Let me we'll cut it from, okay, I'll cut it from here. Now this one, okay, we'll cut so second plant, look at, so tall, you know. Look at, I can perceive the aroma of the basil that's supposed to stop the groundhog, but the smell or the scent of the basil could not stop the groundhog. So let me cut this there. Okay, and then here is another one. It was a branch that came off the one that I just cut now. So I'm going to cut this one here. Look at that. I'm going to cut this one too. I can just use my hand. Yep. I don't need this root. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, look at the harvest of the basil plants. Look at it. All these could not stop the groundhog. What a shame. That was my main purpose of buying these basil plants. But it didn't stop the groundhog. So I'm going to plan B. I'm going to pluck these leaves and dry them the homestead way. I'm not going to use anything to dry it, but just dry it in the sun. That is the homestead way, or the country style way. you know, I'm happy that I can still gain something from this basil plant, even though it didn't achieve the main thing, but we can put it in our food when we eat. When we cook, we'll make use of this basil plant. This is the basil leaves. So I finished picking them, and then we'll leave it in the sun to dry. That is the homestead way. Just leave it and then bring it out in the morning. In the evening, take it back inside, because you don't want it to rain, and then the rain will mess it up. So I'm going to save myself light bills. Trying to use a hydrator to hydrate it. So instead of using the hydrator, I just use the natural dehydrator that God has made himself from heaven, the sun. So I'm happy that we can use the basil to cook. Once it's dried, We'll blend it, blend it into powder form and use the basil. 11 days ago, I harvested this basil and I left it in a box. But when it started getting dried, I poured it in here. And this is it, 11 days after. It took so long, all because the sun is not as hot as it used to be. But now, look at the leaves. They are ready to be blended into small sizes. So we're going to blend it. Okay, so this is the basil, and I'm going to use the Ninja to blend it. Sorry. So I will blend it some more and then blend all this into powder. All right, I finished blending the basil. My goodness, there's a sweet smell in this kitchen right now. So now I'm going to pour it into my container. Okay, I've put it in this container. I have a second container to put the remaining ones. But look at this. Oh, I know you didn't see that coming. Eretabe Gardens basil. Wow. Unbelievable. You can see that. This is how you make your own basil powder. Wow. Well, thank you for watching this video. Please like this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. And click on the notification bell so every time I upload new video, you will be notified. And I will see you again in my next video. God bless you real good. Bye.